Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to build a powerful team. I'm under the thought process that if I have a great product or service and an average team, I'm not going to find success. If I have an average product or service and I have a great team, I'm probably going to find success because that team will come together and help me build it and make it right. So I really think this is an important video for those of you that are out there thinking about how to really build these teams and how to manage them. I asked Chris Salerno to come on, and he's the founder and CEO of QC Capital in North Carolina, and he has built multiple teams. He's actually building one right now for a real estate investment company. Actually, it's a multifamily investment company, and he's been highly successful. So make sure you check out the video and give us a like while you're there. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Joe Killinger. I've been a real estate entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I've built multiple companies myself. And so I really got a lot out of this video, and I think you will too. So make sure you do check out the video, give us a like, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe. Well, Chris, thank you for coming on the show today. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Very excited to be here and add value to your listeners.
Oh yeah, I think our listener base is people want to become real estate investors, and what you've done at such a unique time frame in our country is pretty amazing how you built this. And so we've got real estate investors and people want to become real estate agents. So I think that you've kind of got dual purpose where you built this residential team and now where you're building your investment side of it. So I think you can bring our viewers a lot of value. And so today we're going to be talking about how to build a powerful team. And Chris, you want to kind of walk us through your history, please?
Yeah, so 7.5 years ago, I ventured into single family real estate here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And just for the record, I do not broker real estate anymore. But venturing in there, I wanted a career that followed my work ethic. And I reunited with a friend of mine today for lunch, who we haven't spoken to in about 4.5 years once I created QC Capital and I left the residential industry. And he says, your work ethic is unbelievable. And I said, the reason why I got into single family is because I knew I would outwork all my competition. And so getting in there, I cold call. I did 75 open houses my first year. I mastered the art of cold calling and speaking on the phone, which I think is very, very important to do so. After that, what I did was I started educating myself midway through of creating the company. I merged it with the #1 company in the Carolinas. We were producing around 92 million in annual sales at the time of the merger, brought them to 147, increased their agents' productivity, increased the leads that came into the company. And halfway through that, I really, it opened my eyes. I started educating myself about investing into real estate. I did the fix and flips. I did the single family rentals, and the numbers weren't adding up to me. The numbers weren't adding up profitability wise and being able to scale. And so I said, what else is out there? And I never knew at that time I could own an apartment complex. I thought it was Wall Street, the banks, insurance companies, these billion-dollar people that are buying them themselves. And I started educating myself and I said, wow, I can actually own these apartment complexes. I want in. And so after educating myself in that aspect from what we did, or excuse me, what I did at the time, I started reading legal docs. I started educating myself throughout the whole space about buying multifamily. And I cut single family real estate and I sold all my rentals and I cut it cold turkey, let my licensing go. And I then created and formed QC Capital at the beginning of 2019. From there, I was able to, or we were able to, as a company, we have now 7 full-time employees. We're able to grow within 3 years, a little over 200 million worth of real estate. Our goal is to reach $1 billion by the end of next year, and we're pushing very hard to do so. Little hiccup the past couple months, I'm sure, as we all know, with the debt market and the feds. They decided to throw a little wrench in our main goal, but that's fine. We can take it to the chin and keep pushing. However, that's our main focus. And the lovely part about creating a private equity company to buy large real estate, which our geographic location is throughout the Southeast, our headquarters is in Charlotte. However, is that you can have 10 to 15 wonderful top producing employees and have a $15 billion company if you want.
Yeah.
You don't need 50 employees to manage 50 billion, or excuse me, 15 billion of real estate. It's being done as we speak. I know of one group. He just hired 4 more people for their development arm, but they have 16 full-time employees and they have roughly 13.8 billion assets under management.
Man, that's a big number. Now, how did you start? How did you start building your team? Who was your first hire?
My first hire is now my managing partner. He moved
Okay.
up in the rankings to managing partner within the company. He was my first hire. He actually found me. I was headed to a conference to speak, and he found me on social media. I'm fairly active. I do have someone that runs our social media. At that time, I was doing everything. I was running the social media. I was doing everything.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
reached out. Oh, I know. Now I have someone that runs it, and I will tell you, Joe, getting off of Instagram and Facebook feels so good.
Oh, yeah.
And it just is a weight off my shoulder. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to look at it. And when I first took a couple days to make that transition of fully being off of it, I found myself trying to find the app on my phone. Now I deleted the app, but I tried to find the app on my phone because mentally I wanted to go to it. It was wild. But now I feel so good I don't have it. And so he reached out at the time and wanted to grab a bite to eat. And I did not know Dallas had In-N-Out Burger. And so we were supposed to go to some steakhouse. I canceled our reservations because I saw In-N-Out, and we went to In-N-Out and I said, let's just have burger and fries. And we hit it off very, very well. He ended up working for me for 6 months for free. And I saw his work ethic, his drive, his way to adapt, his ability to grow. And I said, I want you on my team. And he came.
That's a dream come true hire.
A dream come true. No,
Yeah.
a dream come true. And that's how I found my director of acquisitions. He was actually referred to me from an investor. One of our investors referred him to me, and he worked for us for 4 months for free before I brought him on full time.
Okay. Now, do you do ads and that to try and find people as well, or you just kind of go off referrals?
So we do have, if you look at our company LinkedIn, we will have LinkedIn ads on there. However, we have not, we have not hired from LinkedIn. We do post ads because I like to see diversification and see who's out there. However, we have not hired an employee off of LinkedIn.
Okay. Now, how do you know when it's time to hire the next person? I mean, do you think, this is our next step, this is what I need to do, or boy, we could really use some help here? How do you figure that out? What is your thought process?
That's a great question. My thought process is on how do I know about hiring an employee is when when I'm sitting down with the team and we're talking and I'm understanding from the team's perspective that they're getting overwhelmed. That they have a little too much of a workload. The times have changed. I'm old school. I'm an old soul. You'll find me sleeping at the office. You'll find me working 14-hour days. You'll find me working 7 days a week. I'm a single father as well, so it's a lot. However, I enjoy that. That me sitting behind my desk right now, that's my comfort zone. Now I make myself become uncomfortable because that's where success lies.
Sure.
However, that's where I love it. Some people love sitting on their couch. Some people love driving in the car. Some people love laying in their bed. I feel so good behind a desk. So this is where I always want to be. But realizing in today's society, no one wants to work, or not that many people want to work 7 days a week, 14-hour days.
Right. Yeah.
And I've talked to large CEOs around the United States and around the country on how are they managing, working from home? How are they managing their employees only wanting to work from 10 to 4 days a week? And I'm seeing larger private equity firms accommodate those type of schedules. And if you asked any of my employees behind my back, they would probably say they are the happiest working here because they don't have set hours. I don't give them set hours. They don't need to show up at 9 a.m. They need to make sure they get the tasks done.
Right.
And they love that. Yeah. And so I think, not being that strenuous boss and showing them through leadership that I'm working hard, I'm driving. My goal is to get the company to 10 billion. They love that and they want to be a part of that. And how do I know when that next hire is? Honestly, I talk to my employees, and they have all made outlines of their job description, and I know when they start to get overwhelmed. I know when they start to be outworked, and then that's when I go to them and say, if I brought someone on, who should I bring on, and what does that person look like? Is it going to help you out as an analyst? Is it going to be another acquisitions person? Are you generating enough leads we need that?
Right.
What does that look like? And from there, because the lovely part about our business is you don't need 50 employees. I do an interview, the first interview, my managing partner does the second interview. I'll do the third and final interview. If they are local to Charlotte, I have the other team members take them out to coffee or lunch to get to know them, because we're building a very strong company, a very strong team, and a very strong foundation. Or it starts with the foundation, and that's what we want to achieve, that 10 billion.
Yeah, what I'm hearing, Chris, is communication is big in your company, and that's
huge.
I think it's key.
Huge, and the communication is so huge that my employees know when they come in here. They tell me what's on their mind. They do not hold anything back. And I will tell them, I'm wrong, guys. I made a wrong decision. You guys are right. And they open their eyes open up. They light up. And I agree with some of their ways and some of their strategies on running the company. I agree with some of their ways and strategies on sourcing deals, finding deals. And when you agree with them, they really take pride in the company. They really take pride in helping you grow the company, because we're not always right. We've all made mistakes.
Times change.
I know. I mean, we've all, and I think a true leader who recognizes that, and a true leader who has their employees recognize that they are wrong and recognize that, we're not all perfect, really makes a strong team for a foundation to grow to achieve a $10 billion AUM.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can sit and read and, study all the time, then an agent or one of your employees is going to come in and talk to you, and they have this great idea, and you're like, damn it, this is new, this is a great idea, and let them run with it. And that kind of giving them that opportunity is huge. Now let's say, what if how have you handled in the past if you had somebody that really wasn't pulling their weight or their production?
Yeah, so one thing that I've learned is, if you're really not pulling your weight, pulling your production, is that when I go to you to talk to you about it, and I've had these conversations, is that I don't go to scold you. I'm not here to scold you. You're not a dog. You're a human. I'm here to understand, one, can you hold that much weight? Mm-hmm. Two, what is it like when you're under pressure? And how do you react under pressure? And how do you react under a lot of stress? My team knows I can take a lot, and it's very hard for me to break. And so when I approach that type of topic, which can be a sensitive topic, when I approach that topic, I approach it in the aspect of, what can I do for you? Mm-hmm. What can I do for you to get you to accomplish this task? Yeah. And I approach it in that aspect. And that's another way to find out, hey, do I need another employee? Yeah. And exactly. Another thing is too, if anyone's ever taken the DISC test, it's a great test to take. Really shows your personality. Everyone within the company takes it, so we know how to communicate with each other. And one thing with my managing partner, I love him to death. He's been with me since I created the company. And been through with a lot, personal and business related, wonderful person. When I talked to him, at one point we got into a really good discussion, let me say. And the discussion was about work ethic. And for him, or for me, I can work and work and work and work, and you will have to tell me to stop, or rip me out of the office to stop. Right. Those are only ways to get me to stop. And for him, he needs his time. But I know that he's extremely productive during certain hours. But he needs his rest time. He needs his time to recoup and stuff. And so there was one point in our conversation, and this was about a year ago, that I addressed, the work ethic, and addressed some of the things that slipped under the table. And I felt that the pressure and the amount of work was a little too much for him, where we talked and he said, look, I may not be your guy because I can't handle that pressure. I can't handle that. And I said, you may not be. And he said, if I'm not your guy, we might as well, you might as well just let me go right now. And I thought on it and I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to hire someone to take some of that off. And where in some instance you have, leaders that will just say, okay, bye, let me replace you. But I built that trust with him that he knows that I'm not just going to, have him kick rocks. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to be here. I'm going to fight with you. I'm going to have your back, and I'm going to push you. I'm still going to push you. I'm not going to not push you. I'm still going to push you. However, let me hire someone to help take it off your plate.
Yeah.
Take some of that stuff you're missing off your plate, and we grow together that way.
Yeah.
And so those are tough conversations that are needed to be had.
But that's it. You had the conversation, and so many people, you're approachable. You've got the right work ethic. It's a lot easier to work for somebody that's the first one in and the last one out every night. If your boss is showing up at 10, leaving at 2, and you're expected to put in the hours, but they're not, that's hard.
It's very difficult.
Top down has got to be the way it's done. And that's not just the owner, that's the managers and the people are just starting their company. Now, and if you don't want to answer this, how do you incentivize your employees? Do you have bonuses? How do you do that? I think that's a kind of a key thing for everybody.
Love that. Yeah. So we have bonuses. We have bonus structures for each department.
Okay.
Managing partners get to participate in ownership. And I'm in the process of brainstorming a very unique way where we can create basically a in-house fund, which is for QC Capital employees to participate in the fund after you have worked for us for a certain amount of time, where that fund automatically gets ownership in these deals. So you as an employee being there for a certain amount of time will then be able to get monthly distributions and monthly ownership of these deals from working here and putting your hard-earned effort, time away from family into growing QC to where we all want to be.
Yeah, that's key. It gives them ownership in the company. It really gives ownership. And I think if they can see that down the road, there's opportunity or more opportunity and opportunity to grow, that gives a lot of motivation. And you might just see them start showing up on Saturday afternoons because they needed to get something done. I think it's
very much so. I mean, after having those type of conversations, I end up, and one thing too is not having set hours. I get emails sometimes at 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh, they're working on a Friday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Not having set hours, and it comes across extremely well, and they're dedicated. They want to be a part of it. They want to grow the company. And they want to see, how far we can go during my lifetime.
Yeah. And if there's a way to put more money in their pocket, which you're doing, there's just the motivation is there. And I think a lot of people need to really look at that is if you're building a company, you got to remember you're building a team as well. So you've got to get the right team in place to build the company. Because if you've got the greatest product or service and you've got a horrible team put together, you're not going to grow it. But if you have a moderate product or service, and you got a great team, it's going to grow.
Amen to that.
And then you can tweak it from there.
There you go.
Hey, it's Friday. I won't be doing any of that.
Me neither. Yeah. You definitely don't want to see me doing that.
Me either. I'd dislocate a hip. It's something. But Chris, this has been some great information. Thank you very much for this. I think people can learn a lot from you. I'm going to go ahead and put your website link on the video, so if they want to reach out to you and ask questions, or maybe if you've got an investor that's watching this show today, maybe they'll reach out to you. So thank you for coming on the show today, Chris.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Very excited to, give you guys a little background about myself and how QC Capital was founded.
You bet. And for those of you watching, make sure you check out the video, give us a like, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe.